Welcome to Girl Bible, hosted by two women who aren't afraid to dive into anything and everything. This podcast is all about exploring life, laughing through the chaos, and finding common ground with people from all walks of life. No topic is off limits, no vibe is too weird. Come hang out with us every week for real talk, random tangents, and plenty of laughs.
Oh, hey, we're
Hey, girl.
back with another episode, one with a much more serious tone. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the gun violence that is going on right now in the US. Pretty heavy. So, if this is something that is going to affect you, do what you need to do um, personally, and we'll just catch you in the next one. But I think this is something that, Keisha and I were talking, and we said we'd always speak up about stuff that's happening. We're not ones to shy away from a hard conversation. So, yeah, here we are.
And something interesting to note is that even though Logan said the gun violence that's happening now, it's never not happened. It just
Yeah.
keeps on happening. It's been like a continual repeat every single year, every single month, pretty much every single day.
Yeah.
We hear about a mass shooting happening, a school shooting happening, some psycho deciding to shoot up a bunch of random people for whatever they deem as a reason.
Right. And something Keisha and I feel is that she said like some psycho shooting up a school, but how is someone who isn't maybe mentally stable able to get a gun? That's kind of our most pressing issue, I think. I feel like I have pretty good grounds to talk on stuff like this because I was raised in Wyoming. I've talked about this. I was raised in a household that guns were around, and it's never been like a shock or anything to see a gun, but it's still not something that I think just anybody should get. I think the law should definitely be stricter on getting guns. And I know, because I feel like sometimes when people talk about this,
Mhm.
people can argue, well, you don't know, like you've never been around a gun, you don't know, you've never handled a gun, but that is something like I've taken hunter safety. My whole family loves to hunt. It's not something that I really like to take part in anymore, but um I just feel super strongly about having more strict gun laws as someone who's been around them her whole life. It would never be a surprise to come home and my dad was like cleaning one of his guns. It's never been a surprise to like that's not anything at all, but just as someone with that perspective, I think that this is something that definitely needs to be fixed as soon as possible because Keisha and I were talking about, she's getting ready to send her kids to school and having her worry about what's gonna happen to them at school is heartbreaking. And oh gosh, I just think that we need to this is something that needs to change. It's not really like something that should be wavered on anymore, in my personal opinion.
And Logan's mom is a teacher, and her aunt's a teacher. I was a teacher, and
Mhm.
it feels really unfair that like we're asking educators who like no offense, but educators are already getting the shaft in my opinion. I was an educator. I made like close to minimum wage. And I just did
Yeah.
my job because I loved it. Most people who go into education genuinely like love teaching, want to teach kids. They want to help the next generation. You don't get into teaching because you're like looking
No, yeah.
for a quick bag. Like no one's getting into education because they're like, I'm going to get super rich doing this. Like no, we all go in with the hopes of setting one kid up for success. For like if I can change one kid's life or I can be like a beacon in one kid's life, then I've done my job. And it's
Yeah.
like our teachers now have to do so much training, lockdowns, mass shooting situations. Like that's terrifying. I used to have to do that with my kindergartners and I would tell their parents like today we have a lockdown drill and it's not going to be casual because I have to take this so serious.
It can never be casual because you never know if that's gonna be you in a situation or not. And, like Keisha said, teachers go into it wanting to help people, and if you're sitting here right now and you're listening and you're like, "Well, you know what? I'm like a single person and this doesn't really affect me," like, it does affect you because think of how many people you know that are a teacher or just people you know that are just going to school.
Yep.
Um, it
This
it
includes,
it
like,
affects
Logan, she's at
everyone,
college, like, this is happening on college
everyone.
campuses, this is happening in kindergarten classrooms, this is happening in elementary schools, this is happening in middle schools, this is happening in high schools, this is happening everywhere, this is happening at grocery stores. There is not a single shared space that feels safe in the
No,
US.
no.
Every time we go to a concert, every time we go to freaking Target or Walmart, I'm constantly on edge, like looking around, thinking who had a bad day today and just wants to take it out on the other people around them.
Yes.
Almost every single office person that I know has to take some form of a mass shooting training. My sister has to, and she works in fashion. It's like you have to because this is where we live now. My child should not have to wonder if they're coming home from school at the end of the day. You should not
Hmm,
have to worry that this is the last time you're going to see your kid when you're dropping them off at school.
yeah,
But that's the
n
American reality. It's like
right.
you might be saying goodbye for the very last time.
And just, like, even walk in my training room that I go in to get my ankles taped every day, there's a sign on the door that says, "Guns are prohibited," and the fact that that has to be implicated is insane to me. Like, why do we have to say that, like, something should not be permitted in this area? It doesn't make any sense to me personally, and I just don't know how anyone can make sense of that, honestly. And
Truly.
I don't know. I understand people wanting to have the right to hunt, and we talked about even the idea of people saying, "Well, if the government, is turns on the people, then we wanna be able to protect ourselves." There's no way you're protecting yourself against the US government. They outgun other armies of countries, like, what?
Literally, that's my
Uh,
whole thing is like if your one argument is protecting your house and you want to arm yourself against the army in case of, you know, a militia forming, whatever, you're done for. You and your
you wouldn't.
hundreds slash thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands of dollars if you're really building up your one man army arsenal, you don't stand a chance. This army has put billions and trillions of dollars into building their arsenal. If they want you gone, you're done. You're done. You
Yeah,
might take out one or two and live for an extra 3 minutes, but if they come for you, it's over. You're
it's
not
done for 'em.
out outperforming the US trained military. Okay? You're just not as a single entity or even like you and a group of your buddies. No, you're not doing it. So stop using that as an excuse to let other people continue to die, innocent people continue to die.
Mhm,
You are 26 times more likely to be shot and killed in America than any other high income country.
mhm.
26 times more likely. Not 2 times, not 10 times, 26 times more likely to
26.
be shot and killed. And every single day, 327 people are shot in the US. That's on average, right? So we're doing an average. That means more than 327 people are shot some days. That's just the average every day here. 327 people are shot, and on average, 117 of those people will die.
Yep,
And then every
that's
single day in this country, 23 minors are shot in the United States. 23 kids every single day dead or at least shot.
yep, which
What
is just
are
it
we
doesn't make
talking about?
any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
What are we
And
saying? Why are these even why is this a statistic? Why is this still going on? I don't understand anyone else's argument anymore. I've tried playing polite. I've tried understanding people's rights and needs and wants. At this point, if you are still pro guns, do not come to me talking about pro life. Don't come to me talking about your family. Don't come to me talking about your kids. I don't want to hear about how you care about your family because you don't. You care about your guns more than you care about people. If you
Yep.
do not support some form of gun control and restricted gun access at this point in time, you do not care about children.
You need to do some self-reflection
It's that
because
simple. It's truly that simple.
it does affect you, and it just feels like it's almost the same conversation. Like, when we're talking about people, having control over their own body, it's the same it feels like the same argument, like, yes, you want your guns, but just because you don't want any control over it, that means other people aren't gonna have any control over it either. Just because you don't wanna wait a while longer to get your new Glock or whatever, then that means the next person doesn't have to wait just as long. I can't if you like to hunt, do it for sport, whatever, that's fine. Then I don't understand why what's the hold on, making sure that there's better control if you are just doing it because you like to hunt.
Exactly.
What's the difference of you waiting a couple extra days, a month? Seriously.
Not to
What
mention, other countries have had mass shootings occur and they immediately come up with a solution. They don't continue to do the same thing, hoping for a better result, blaming other things, saying this annoying argument. It's not guns that kill people, it's people that kill people. No, the F it isn't. You want to know how I know? Because the places where they've had a mass shooting and then they immediately took everyone's guns back and said, well, we gave you a try and you failed. You couldn't handle it. Give us your guns back. It's a buyback program. Yep, we'll give you the cash back. You give us the guns. And you know what? We're going to keep everyone safe because we choose safety over personal feelings over a
pleasure.
weapon. Uh, the mass shootings are gone. That now people go to school and they're safe. Now people go to concerts and have a good time. Now people go to the grocery store and they come back home. But not here. We just keep on going. We've had what 146 school shootings this year. It might not be all considered a mass shooting. It might not all be considered fatal, but that's how many times people brought guns
It's
to
still
a school.
intent
Yep.
to go there and kill as many
And we
people as
go,
possible.
you know what? This is a people issue. I'm like, no, this is not a people issue. Other countries have mental health crises too. Other
Yeah.
countries actually have more antidepressant usage than the United States do. And guess what? They have less mass shootings. How could that be? Oh, because it's not a mental health crisis, it's an access to guns crisis. And like Logan said, sending my kid to school, sorry,
Okay. It is that real, and if that's not your response, if you're not listening and you can't think about a family member or a loved one going to school and not coming back, and that's not your response, then what are you thinking about? What, you love your gun so much, you're gonna cry if the government takes it away from you?
like, I'm sending my son to
Genuinely.
school, and I told Dan, I was like, "We'll do kindergarten, we'll do this 1 year. That's it. Like, you're not going. I'm not playing a
Yeah.
numbers game with my kid's life." And I feel
Yeah.
so bad for parents that don't have that choice to homeschool because sometimes
Seriously.
you're a single parent, you have to go to work, you can't homeschool, you literally cannot. It's not a choice. You don't have that option. And it sucks because every day you never know when it's the last time you're going to see your kid just because you
Yeah.
have to send them to school. Like, that's
Yeah. Because.
crazy.
'Cause you have to, like, grind and hustle
Work.
to keep a roof over your head? Like, that's your only that's it's horrifying, it's terrifying.
And like I said, like my sister-in-laws are both teachers. I worry about them just as much as I worry about my nieces and nephews at school because I know they care about their students. What are they going to do? They'll
Yeah.
be the first ones trying to protect those kids.
Yes. They yeah.
What? They didn't
Or
sign up for the military. Like they did not. They did not. That's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to teach, they wanted to educate other people's kids. And now every single day, that's their reality. Is like they get lockdowns all the time.
yeah. My growing up, I had to, watch my mom go through these really serious trainings with rubber bullets. She would come home with like bruises, and it would only make me think that, like, what if that was real? Like, you know what I'm saying? She's doing
Literally.
something where like someone's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's so real and it's so serious that that's how far people are taking it. That they have to go through these intense trainings with rubber bullets, with like something that is so like makes it feel so real. It's insane to me. Or people wanting teachers to carry. You're gonna bring the
That's my
problem
other
into the
thing.
school.
Exactly. I was like, the answer is not more guns to solve gun violence. No
Like
offense,
what?
but
We're gonna
also
shoot back? Like,
you're still putting a teacher's life on the line. And what the next step is, teachers have bulletproof vests in the classroom so that they feel comfortable enough to grab their gun and attempt to take out the assailant. Like, this is insane. The answer is so simple because other countries, other developed countries, have already done it. It is no longer a question of if we can get it done. It's just, when is enough enough? And apparently, like, watching mothers lose their children does not affect the American people the way that it should.
I wonder, as horrible as it is, if anyone was on one side of this whole problem, this whole situation, and then a horrible incident happened and they changed their mind. Like, I wish we would hear more from people that this stuff
We're
has
pro
happened to, that
guns
that
before.
were yeah, because I feel like that's the only way you can try to get through to some people is like, it's so real for you too. Like, Keisha and I are always saying on this freaking podcast, you always think it's not gonna happen to you. Oh, it's not
Yep.
gonna happen to me. And
Yep.
then it does. And then what? And then it's so real. And then you know what? You reflect and you realize you did nothing but aid the whole situation.
So true. That's so true. That's all I can think. I'm like, it's all fun and games until you're on the other side of this, because it's not funny. And I've always lived in like rural places. Um, my family's from Idaho, and they were always hunting and whatnot. And trust me, I've heard it. I've heard it all. I get it. I hear your points, but nothing at this point outweighs a child's safety to me. Like, school should be the safest place on earth for a child,
Right? Like,
besides
we're
the home.
sending
If they're not at home, they should be safe at school. This is crazy. A church, multiple churches get shot up in the United States. You should be safe to pray. This is crazy.
it is
And yes,
crazy.
you're like, oh, if somebody really wanted to take you out, they still would. Okay. If all they've got is a knife, all right, we still have a chance. Like, as a community, we have a chance against a knife wielding psychopath. You don't have a chance against a gun wielding psychopath. Like, these are facts. This is just real. You can survive a knife wound and hope that other people can stop them versus taking out multiple people all at once. I don't understand how this is not getting through to some people's heads right now. And what's crazy to me is that in our country, most of the people who support gun usage and access to bear arms are the same people that call themselves pro life. And to me, I'm just like, I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so done with it. Do not call yourselves pro life anymore if you're also supporting the right to bear arms. I'm done. I'm done with you. You're not pro life. No, you're not. I never have thought you were pro life to begin with, because you take away women's rights and you don't care about the mother that's carrying the child. You're really just anti-abortion, but you want to hide under the facet of pro-life. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop hiding behind these flashy little terms when all you care about at this point in time are your guns. You do not care about family. You do not care about children whatsoever. Because if you did, you would immediately be taking to the streets, signing, donating, and ending all the laws that support guns being out on American streets. That's
Yeah.
how I feel. Like, I hope that eventually everyone has access to homeschool and can figure out a way to keep their kids at home until we can figure something out. But it looks like we're going to get more of the same,
Yeah.
unfortunately, until
Now,
enough people get fed up.
yep. Now, to shift ever so slightly, just as someone who grew up in a household with guns, I I think that it is crucial that if there is a gun in your home, you need to educate your children on what that is and the power of that weapon. Because if it's something that just stays hidden in the back closet, kids are curious. Kids are gonna kids are gonna look, kids are gonna um want to explore. They I mean, of course, it should be at the right age, but they should know the power of what that weapon can do and that it is not to be used by them, it is not to be touched. Because I hear so many horror stories about kids, like, looking around, wandering around, wondering what it is, parents being not wanting to talk about it with their kids. N knowledge is everything. Knowledge is power. If they know that that is a weapon that is life-ending, that is life-changing. Like, never once have I thought a gun is something that
To be
you should
played
tread,
with.
yeah, to be played with, to tread lightly about. It is something that should be locked also. But if you're listening to this and you have a gun in your house and you have kids who are capable of, finding it and exploring it, then they should know the power of it, and they should know that it is somewhere in your home. I believe that that is something that you should do as a parent, is educate your child on
And
something.
also just proper proper storage, proper, like, what is it called? Locking them away.
Yeah, locking them away.
And then I don't know, it's just hard for me at this point because I feel like the people who are bringing guns, they don't even necessarily have to go buy the guns to carry out the act. It's like Logan
Mhm,
said, it's like they know where the guns are. They borrow them from a friend, from a family member.
mhm,
Like, so it's just so double edged for me because it's like you could do all the right things. Some of these households did the right things and locked them up. But like Logan said, they were educated on where the key was and where the ammo was stored and all this
mhm,
stuff. And then it's like, I don't know. To me, I'm like, just take them. Just take just take them at this point. Like,
mhm,
take them. And if we figure out a way to do like some sort of hunting program where if you do want to hunt, maybe it's stored at like a hunting location, all the guns stay at that place and then you go and like check them out to go hunt and then you have to check them back in type of system. Because I get it, some people do genuinely just really want to shoot stuff and whatever. I'm not the one to sit here and take away anyone else's freedoms, but I'm also not the one to support anybody losing their freaking life because somebody else wanted to shoot an animal.
yeah.
Like, I
No,
can't.
I agree.
It's like, yes, we can educate, but I don't know how to explain what's happening here. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Because it's
mhm,
past the point of rational reasoning to me. It's like, what are we doing?
yeah,
What are we doing? We're protecting the rights of, everyone to the extent of the exception taking away other people's lives. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
It's so heavy. I feel for all these moms,
yeah. It's horrible, it's awful.
truly.
Ugh, but
So, hopefully you guys take action. Visit every town. There's tons of websites where you can donate. I saw I don't know if you want to call it like an advertisement or like a shock ad or whatever, but I'm hoping it's a petition to get it played during the Super Bowl. It was so powerful for me to watch. I just think we need to rally together to lobby for some gun laws to change in this country, because the fact that parents have to say goodbye in the morning, possibly for the last time, is sad.
It just doesn't make any sense.
And it's 100% preventable. So that's that's why it makes no sense, because other people have literally made changes to where it doesn't have to happen.
Mhm.
And it also would help with, if we're talking about mental health, it can also help prevent suicide as well, because a lot of the gun violence and gun death that happens in America is actually suicide by guns. And it's like, we want to talk about mass shootings, yes, but people are using guns for other things too. And it's really, really sad, because we also want to save the people. If it is a mental health thing, it's like we want to save those people and give them a better chance at seeing the other side of life. And we did a mental health episode, but imagine if they didn't have access to those guns. That's
Yeah.
saving a life too, right there, because 60% of all gun deaths are suicides. 37% are homicides too, by the way. That's killing another human. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why people don't care about a human life more so than the possession of a weapon. That's
Here
okay.
we are. Yep. Again, we just wanted to get on and talk about bring some awareness to the situation and I don't know, just shed some light on it, I guess, because I think sometimes media either they do a really good job of, showing it or they do a really good job of kind of like downplaying it. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair. I think everybody deserves to know what's happening. So,
And I just want to end on a couple more statistics, and then we'll wrap this episode up, because, like we said, it's heavy and it might not be how people want to start their week, but we just thought it was important. As of 2022, the United States has 121 firearms per 100 residents. That makes it the only country with more civilian owned firearms than people, because that makes sense. 1 in 5 Americans say they've had a family member fatally shot. 1 in 5. That's 20%. Americans are 2 times as likely to lose a loved one to gun violence as they are to be left handed. There you go. So, I don't know if anybody needs any more information about that, but to me, the numbers speak for themselves. What are we doing? Let's get ourselves together. If this bothered you, I hope you take a step towards making a change. Stay safe and keep your loved ones extra safe. Give them a hug every time they leave the door, because you never know when it might be the last one. Okay, babes, that's the tea, the sermon, the whole dang chapter for today's episode of Girl Bible. If you laughed, nodded, gasped, or even whispered OMG same at any point, then my job here is done. Don't be shy, hit follow so your podcast app serves up fresh wisdom every week like it's your spiritual espresso. And if you've got a sec, drop a review. It helps more fabulous weirdos like us find our way home. Want to keep the convo going? Come say hey over on IG at GirlXBible. Seriously, slide into the DMs. I do not bite unless it's over snacks or opinions on zodiac signs. Until next time, remember, you're the main character, the plot twist, and the moral of the story. Stay bold, stay weird, and stay flipping iconic. This is Girl Bible signing off.